What is going on? So in this video, I am extremely excited for the topic because it is one of the most important things you can do in your life, and that is to heal and to let go of past traumas, past wounds, and all that kind of stuff. I am going to teach you in this video of two different modalities, of two different methods that I've personally used and so many people around the world have used to heal and to not only create the life that they want, but just to be more happy, more at peace, and have more love in their life and more love for themselves. So if this interests you, check this out. All right, guys, let's get started. So the reason why these methods that I'm going to show you are so powerful is because you can use them at any time, anywhere, basically. And anybody can use them. They are just very simple things that you repeat to yourself. And you can do it at work. You can do it while you're driving. You can do it when maybe you're sitting down or after meditation. Whatever it is, you can do it anytime. And they're super simple. So simple that you will probably think, is this gonna work? And trust me, I've been doing, especially the first one that I'm gonna show you, for years and years, and the results have been incredible. So let's get started. All right, the first method is the Sedona method. Now this method is incredibly simple. It's based off of 4 questions that you ask yourself, and the questions are the following. So first of all, you want to think about a specific problem that you have in your life, or a specific emotion that keeps coming up, or maybe it's an emotion that just happened right now. Someone cut you off in traffic, or you're trying to heal something with a significant other, or a family member, or a friend. Doesn't matter. Figure out that specific emotion, and if you can pinpoint what it is, that's great. If you can't pinpoint if it's anger or frustration or sadness, whatever it is, it's fine. So here are the questions you want to ask yourself as you go through these emotions. First question is, can you welcome this feeling as best as you can? And there's variations to these questions, but this is the simplest way that I found to just do it on a regular basis. So the first question again is, can you welcome this feeling as best as you can? And it just means, are you okay with having this feeling momentarily, and just accepting that you feel that way? And with all these questions, except for the last one, the answer, there's no wrong answer. You just want to say either yes or no. So if you feel you can't accept it right now, it's okay to say no. The process still works to begin letting go of this emotion, letting go of this trauma, and it's a permanent thing. Especially the more you practice it and continue to scrape off these emotions, it'll continue to really put you in a state of peace, and you'll be a lot less reaction oriented when it comes to your emotions. All right, so the first question again is, can you welcome this emotion as best as you can? Second question is, could you let it go? Now, could you let it go simply means, do you have the ability to let it go? So it's very simple. Do you think you can let it go? I mean, in terms of, do you have the capability to let it go? And it's okay to say no if you feel like you're just not capable of letting it go right now. It's all right if you feel like you can't. Now, the third question in the Sedona method is, would you let it go? This question just points to the idea of, are you willing to let it go? And again, that is your choice. Whatever the answer is, yes or no, the result is still the same. But you obviously, the way that this method works is you want to get to yeses on all those questions. And so the more that you go through these emotions, the more you're present with them and you go through that process, the more you begin to shine light into them. And so they lose a lot of power. And so at one point, it's easier to say, yeah, I could welcome this feeling. Yes, I could let it go. Again, you don't have to say the whole thing. You can just say yes or no. And yes, I would let it go. And then the fourth question is, when? So the answer for this is always now. So the way that I use this process is I say, can you welcome this emotion as best as you can? So I might be closing my eyes and I would say yes or no. Could you let it go? Yes. Would you let it go? Yes. When? And I would say right now, as I inhale in and exhale out, and imagine that I'm letting go of the emotion, that I'm letting go, maybe even picture in a color that I'm letting go of that emotion. And it works fantastic. So the way you want to do it is, depending on the strength of the emotion, you can let it go and repeat those 4 questions over and over for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however long you want to do it, or however long it takes to release it. Another trick with this is that you also want to let go of wanting to let it go. Many times when I felt that it was more difficult to let it go, it was more the resistance of letting it go, meaning that I was so attached to letting it go and feeling better that kept the emotion there, if that makes sense. So you could say, could you welcome this feeling of frustration? Could you let go of wanting to let it go? Yes. So again, would you let go of wanting to let it go? So on and so on. And that's how it would work. All right, so before I go into the second method of healing and letting things go, I want to talk about how to narrow down what to let go, because that's very important, and how to use these methods. So, for example, like I mentioned, you could be trying to heal some relationships that you have, maybe even relationship with yourself. Maybe you beat yourself up a lot, or you have a strange relationship with one of your family members that you don't talk to anymore, or just have conflicts with them. Also, let's say you're visualizing and you're trying to manifest something and you're having trouble with it. You can release any blockages. You can release any emotions of doubt, emotions of or maybe emotions of not deserving it, emotions of attachment, emotions of that kind of stuff, emotions of sadness. Whatever it is that's keeping you stuck, maybe in the process of creation, or even taking action, fear, you can release all that. Whatever area, maybe narrow it down to a specific area that you want to work on, or a specific person, and go from there. So that's how I would use these methods. Another thing that I do want to mention in regards to these methods is that the way that they work is in 3 ways, and it's especially true for the Sedona method. The first way is that you're welcoming the emotion and just letting it be there. Again, I spoke about this in one of my posts on Facebook and some of the other social media about being aware of your shadow. In fact, that begins to really shine light into it, and begins to loosen the power over you and your conditioning and all that sort of thing. Now, the second way is to, again, as we went through all the questions in regards to the Sedona method, is to simply let go of the emotion in those 4 different questions. And the third way is to dive deep into the emotion. The way you dive deep is, you could say, can you welcome this emotion as best as you can? And then you can say, could you go even deeper into this emotion as best as you can? And then say, even deeper than that. And you just keep on feeling the emotion wherever it is in your body. And you can say, even deeper than that. And you can keep going deeper and deeper, and wherever you feel it in your body. And even right now, I can feel like, as I say those things, whatever emotion I'm feeling right now, I'm going deeper and deeper into it. And then at one point, it feels like it's empty and it just dissolves. And so those are the kind of points that you want to get to, where you're not seeking necessarily happiness or excitement. You're seeking to just have peace. And that is the point with these modalities or these methods of healing, that it's not about creating happiness, but rather about letting go of these emotional attachments that sometimes we judge as good, like excitement and sadness and all that kind of stuff, and getting into more of a space of being grounded and being at peace, which is the exact state of flow. All right, so now we're going to go into the second method that I'm going to show you today. All right, the second method and the second teaching is an ancient Hawaiian teaching called Ho'oponopono. And the way that it works is with 4 different mantras as well. that you're telling yourself, and you're repeating to yourself over and over and over and over for the healing purposes. Again, one of the things that I want to stress with these methods is that they are incredibly simple. They're so simple that you think, why would they work? There's many reasons for that, but with this one specifically, it's based on a true story. I mean, the Hawaiian teaching has been used for many years, but the origin story of this, it was used by a doctor, by a psychiatrist that was treating mentally ill patients that were murderers, that were rapists, that had done just terrible things. And by using this method, he was able to heal all of them to a point where they closed down the ward, and they closed down the hospital because there was no need for it anymore. So it is an extremely powerful method. It's actually a method that one of my clients recommended to me, and yeah, it's incredible. So the way the 4 statements that we're gonna be doing is gonna be, you're first gonna say, I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And if you say those things, you can already probably feel a different vibration, a different energy within you, a different emotion when you are saying this, either in your head or out loud. Again, these methods you can use anywhere, so you can say it in your head, and that's totally okay. And so the way you would use it is you would go into a specific situation or with a specific person that you want to heal, a relationship, and so forth, and say these statements. Now, the reasoning behind I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. The reasoning with I'm sorry is to go back to the story of the doctor. He realized that in one way or another, he was responsible for his patients, meaning that in a universal grand scale of things, if you've seen some of my other videos that I talk about the nature of reality, reality is really a projection of what's going on inside of us. So in some way, we create absolutely everything, even though you can't directly say that this doctor had an actual responsibility or caused any of this in regards to a patient perhaps that was a murderer or anything like that. He was responsible for creating that experience in the moment. So instead of judging it and recreating it and everything, judging the patients and so on, he began to use this Hawaiian teaching to begin to ask for forgiveness for creating this, taking responsibility. So these methods are all about, if you haven't noticed yet, they're all about taking 100%, and I mean 100% responsibility beyond what anyone would imagine you would be responsible for. You're talking about a universal energy scale, and that is why they're so powerful. So I'm sorry, you're taking responsibility for what you're creating. And again, it may seem far-fetched to the mind in regards to, well, I did not create that accident that happened, or I did not create, that person's acting weird, and that's why, we have a weird relationship, and it's them, or even something as far-fetched as these patients that were at this ward. You didn't create them, but in some sense, you are recreating them. There's something in you that's creating them still, if you understand energy and that sort of thing. So then you say, please forgive me. Again, just to forgive yourself and to move on and let go of continuing to create that energy, that situation. Again, everything that we see is a projection of ourselves, a projection of our internal reality. And so we literally create it. Once you accept that, you can create anything, and you can recreate your life, you can recreate your relationships, you can recreate how you're feeling and everything. And so then you say, thank you, and I love you. You begin getting into higher and higher vibrations. So that is this method. And so again, you would repeat to yourself, for, anywhere from 5, 10, 20, 30 minutes. I do it. I do these things, the Sedona method, I do it maybe for 5 minutes. And in addition, sometimes to my visualization, if I find any resistance. With this method, I use it especially when I'm trying to heal something, or when something happened, or there's stuff that I haven't dealt with yet. I use it maybe for 20 or 30 minutes. But again, it's all part of my morning routine, which encompasses about an hour to 2 hours a day of my day. So again, the 4 statements are: I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And that's it. Now, I'm going to put a link down below to a video I'm going to create that has the methodology that takes you through it. And it's basically going to be just an audio, actually not a video, but it's going to be an audio version, so you can just put on your headphones and repeat after me and go through the sequence over and over. And so that's what I'm going to be creating. It'll be on the link below. If you have any questions, again, these are very, very simple healing modalities that work extremely well. So don't second guess them just because they're simple. But if you have questions about any of this, put them down below. I know it's a longer video, and I know there's a lot that I've covered and a lot that probably needs to be covered. But again, it's a shorter video. It's YouTube. So if you have any questions, I'll answer them down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel for more cool videos on all this, as well as hit the bell button so you can get the notifications every time I release a video. All right, that's all for now, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.